I went ahead and rented this on Vudu. Let's watch it.
Hey guys, Alex Kahn here, and I just watched the 2018 movie called Driven, which is about the auto car maker John DeLorean. If you don't recognize that name, he's the guy who developed the car in Back to the Future, the one that time travels. He didn't develop time travel though; he developed that car. Um, but anyways, this movie stars Sudeikis. I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's the guy from We're the Millers, and also Lee Pace as John DeLorean, and he has starred in several movies, but the one I recognize him the most is from The Hobbit, where he plays the Elf King Thranduil. Very fantastic actor and really tall apparently. But anyways, this movie, mm, it's hard to explain. From what I understand, it takes a lot of liberties with history, but it is based on a historical moment, not quite historically accurate though. There was John DeLorean, obviously, he was a real person, and he apparently was set up in a sting operation by his neighbor Hoffman, who was into, I guess, selling drugs or something. I forgot what the story was with him, but he was also a real person. This isn't really a spoiler since this actually happened. John DeLorean was uh, found not guilty, but yeah, he claimed entrapment, and that was a very strong defense, and he got off scotch free. Unfortunately, his business DeLorean was already bankrupt at that point, and I don't think he made another car after that trial, according to the epilogue in this movie. So the way this movie's set up, it's set up in flashbacks. The present time is told from the court perspective when Hoffman's on trial, and you could also see John DeLorean is right there because he is the defendant. But it jumps back between flashbacks. The structure is kind of it's okay. It's kind of a bland structure to be honest, because I've seen this kind of structure before. I'm sure many of you have seen this, but it's still a compelling movie though because I love this dynamic between Hoffman and DeLorean. But honestly, I was really mainly into the character of John DeLorean, played by Lee Pace. Lee Pace creates this larger than life character, John DeLorean, and I'm pretty sure he embellished a lot of his characteristics because I've seen interviews. So I was hoping to see more about the DeLorean sports car, but that wasn't really the. I guess it wasn't the point of this movie, but it's definitely the driving force of this movie because this guy does want to get his Porsche. I mean his not his Porsche. He wants to get his DeLorean made, but you really don't see the DeLorean really that much in this movie. It's really just as I said. It's what causes DeLorean to look for other ways to fund his project. But something that's really cool, which I didn't really know until I watched the movie, and I actually fact checked this, but apparently DeLorean was the key developer of or the key like dude for making the Pontiac GTO, which I didn't really know that. I'm sure some car buffs probably knew that, but I didn't know that. Because when I hear DeLorean, all I think about is the '80s car that was featured in Back to the Future. So I really did like this movie a lot, mainly because it's DeLorean, and I love the way that he's portrayed on screen. But yeah, from what I read, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies with this movie. But again, it is a movie. I was really interested in seeing more DeLorean developing the car, but yeah, this isn't really about DeLorean. Unfortunately, this is really about Sudeikis' character who plays Hoffman. This whole story is told from Hoffman's point of view, and he'll occasionally run into DeLorean. Not occasionally, but he will meet up with DeLorean. But unfortunately, I feel like DeLorean is not the main character in this movie. But when you do see DeLorean, he's amazing. So I guess that's my main gripe with this movie. And I was really expecting it to be about DeLorean, but it is, but it's really not. It's really about Hoffman.